Welcome to a fascinating deep dive. In today's guide, we unravel the mysterious and often misunderstood secret teachings of Jesus, truths hidden for centuries in lost gospels, mystical traditions, and coded parables. What if the real message was about unlocking the divine within? Stay tuned as we reveal these transformative secrets, one breakthrough insight at a time. What if everything you've heard about Jesus' teachings is only the surface? Let's start with a profound mystery. Why do so many seekers across centuries claim that Jesus taught something deeper, something almost hidden from the masses? Ancient texts, lost gospels, and whispers from early mystics all hint at secret wisdom meant not exclusively for a chosen few, but for any soul ready to look within. The very idea challenges centuries of history and dogma. What have we missed? We'll discover how these overlooked teachings unlock an inner kingdom, repositioning spirituality from external ritual to internal revolution. Get ready, because the journey into this mystery begins with a simple but radical question. What did Jesus mean when he said, "The kingdom of God is within you"? Let's step into the unknown. The first secret, hidden in plain sight, is that the kingdom of God isn't a faraway paradise, but a reality each of us can access now. In Luke 17, verse 21, Jesus declares, "The kingdom of God is within you." This flips centuries of religious tradition on its head. The Gospel of Thomas amplifies this, urging us to know ourselves to find this hidden realm. But how do we truly experience it? Inner awakening, self-reflection, and conscious living, not rituals, are the keys. Here lies a challenge. Dare to look inward, beyond dogma and distraction. When we do, a whole new spiritual landscape opens up, ready for exploration. Next, let's decode how knowing yourself could be the first step to divine connection. But there's a gap. Have we ever really been taught how to know ourselves? Jesus' cryptic words hint at a journey of self-discovery far deeper than mere faith or obedience. In the Gospel of Thomas, he says, "When you know yourselves, then you will be known." It's an invitation to awaken out of autopilot and become conscious of our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Are we aware of our own limiting patterns, our unresolved doubts? This inner honesty, often challenging and uncomfortable, is the gateway. By confronting what we ignore or deny, we begin to uncover the radiant, divine spark within. Stay with me. The next secret shatters another illusion, that God is somewhere out there. Let's tackle another radical teaching. Jesus implied there's no true separation between humanity and the divine. In John 10, verse 30, he says, "I and the Father are one." It's a blueprint for non-dual reality, challenging the notion that we are cut off from God, urging us to dissolve the illusion of separation. Mystics and modern consciousness explorers call this experience Christ consciousness. It's a state of unity, peace, and insight, accessible to all, not the spiritual elite. Yet many struggle with feelings of distance and unworthiness. This teaching confronts that lie. Next, we'll see how Jesus taught unity through stories anyone could understand, his parables. Why did Jesus teach in parables? It's not just to be poetic. Parables are allegories, hidden codes meant to unlock inner realities. Take the mustard seed, not just about faith, but about how the tiniest spark of self-awareness grows into transformative power. Or consider the parable of the weeds and wheat, an allegory of our conflicting thoughts and desires, and the work it takes to harvest wisdom from confusion. These stories offer maps to inner transformation if we dig beneath the surface. But what makes these stories so effective? Next, we'll explore their hidden structure and how allegory can completely reframe your spiritual journey. Here's what most miss. Each parable works like a mirror. It reflects not just spiritual ideals, but the shadow parts of our psyche, the places we struggle, doubt, or resist. This is why a story can speak to us for years in new ways. The meaning adapts to the reader's state of awakening. When we read with curiosity, these coded messages become catalysts for self-growth. Crucially, Jesus invites us to approach parables with ears to hear, and openness to fresh insight. As you listen to these stories, what resonates most with your own journey? Get ready for our next revelation: the hidden spiritual practices Jesus may have taught beneath these words. What if Jesus' secret teachings included actual methods, concrete practices for inner transformation? While most traditions remember Jesus as a visionary, esoteric writings suggest he taught advanced meditation and breath control, resembling ancient yogic practices. Matthew 6:22's single eye reference may allude to the third eye or higher perception. Imagine early disciples quietly practicing deep breathing, visualizing divine light, seeking direct experience rather than mere belief. Why are these methods almost erased from mainstream Christianity? Fear of empowerment, perhaps. Let's explore one of these practices: activating the single eye. So what does it mean to focus on the single eye? In ancient symbolism, this represented an awakening of inner sight or intuition, a gateway to perceiving the divine within and around us. Imagine tuning out distractions and focusing your awareness between the brows, as practiced in many yogic traditions. Suddenly, the mind quiets and new clarity dawns. Early Christian mystics believed this was the path to seeing God, not with physical eyes, but through awakened consciousness. Feeling skeptical? Science now shows that meditation literally changes the brain, enhancing creativity and empathy. Up next, let's trace how these esoteric practices connect across faiths and eras. It's astonishing to realize these secret practices weren't unique to Jesus. Ancient Greeks, Egyptians, Indian yogis all spoke of inner light and ways to commune with the divine within. The idea of inner transformation, of transcending daily struggle through conscious practice, forms the backbone of every mystical tradition. Could Jesus have been part of a global spiritual movement, picking up wisdom from other cultures? Some scholars believe so, given the parallels in Platonic and Gnostic thought. This universal path urges us to seek direct experience over dogma. Now, let's unravel the secret system of spiritual initiation and why only some receive the deepest teachings. Here's a radical secret: not all disciples got the same teachings. According to sources like the Gospel of Mary and early mystical texts, Jesus had an inner circle, Mary Magdalene among them, who received advanced instruction. This wasn't about exclusion, but about readiness. Deeper teachings require stability, self-knowledge, and courage. In these secret initiations, disciples sometimes experience direct contact with divine presence and radical shifts in consciousness. The feminine voice, as highlighted by Mary, emphasized intuitive knowledge, compassion, and direct revelation. Why are these powerful stories rarely taught? Let's dig into what was so threatening about them next. The hidden role of women, especially Mary Magdalene, challenges much of what we assume about spiritual leadership. In the Gospel of Mary, she's not just a follower, but a teacher, receiving visions and guiding the other disciples. This highlights the sacred feminine and the value of direct spiritual experience, regardless of gender or status. Why were these texts nearly erased? Because their message, empowering everyone to access the divine, threatened rigid power structures. Even now, reclaiming these stories can feel revolutionary. So how might our spiritual journey shift if we embrace this lost wisdom? At the heart of all these secrets lies the call for personal transformation. Jesus' teachings urge us to leave behind borrowed beliefs and encounter the divine for ourselves. Self-inquiry, meditation, and compassionate living become the new sacraments, rituals of the inner life. We are asked to recognize our own patterns of fear, resistance, and self-doubt, then rise above them to discover unconditional awareness. Imagine a world where everyone took up this inner work. The ripple effects, more empathy, less conflict, deeper meaning, would be profound. The next scene brings this vision closer to home. So, why were these teachings called secret? Perhaps not to keep people out, but to protect truth from being oversimplified. When wisdom is profound, it requires preparation. The journey to inner awakening takes patience and courage, qualities anyone can cultivate. The great paradox: the secret is meant for everyone, but only truly unlocked by those willing to do the inner work. We are each invited to step beyond surface rituals, daring to know ourselves. As we close, ask yourself, What secret have you been seeking without that might actually be hidden within? In the end, Jesus' so-called secret teachings aren't locked away. They are waiting in your own heart, ready to be revealed with each honest step inward. The message: we are not meant to be passive followers, but explorers of consciousness and bearers of divine light. This is your invitation. Try the practices, reflect on the parables, and dare to know yourself, beyond dogma, beyond doubt. The kingdom isn't out there, it's within. If you feel inspired to begin this journey, let the first step be now, and let us know how it unfolds for you in the comments below. Thanks for exploring these secret teachings with us. We hope you found new insight into the deeper, mystical path Jesus offered. What surprised you the most, or which idea spoke to your soul? Share your thoughts below, and if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to subscribe for more profound explorations. Until next time, stay curious and keep seeking.